Hey everyone, I'm Sean Wheelock. On May 16th, the film Cagefighter Worlds Collide will debut on FITE as a one-night only streaming purchase available globally except for the United States and the Caribbean. Joining me now is one of the film's stars, Alex Montagnani, who has 11 wins in his pro MMA career and has fought in both BAMMA and Cage Warriors. Alex, thanks for being on with me on FITE.
Thank you for having me, man. Thank you.
So how do you go from being not a former MMA fighter, but an active, a current MMA fighter, to being the principal, the main star of this new film?
I've actually been acting for about 6-7 years now as well. But I kind of under the radar doing a lot of indie films, short films in the UK. I worked with Jesse previously, the director of the film, and I've known him for a number of years. He's a good friend of mine. We actually trained jiu-jitsu together. So that's how I knew him. And I actually did the initial kind of teaser for Cagefighter years ago when he was just preparing to do the feature-length script. And then all the years, the years past, he's still getting, funding, etc. And he calls me and says, do you want a small part in it, and do you want to do the fight choreography? So of course I say, yeah, hell yeah, man. I've been doing all these smaller films in the UK, doing a bit of fight choreography for them as well. So I was like, this can be like kind of my big break. And then, a few months pass, actually a year passes, I think, and we're just developing the fights. They're looking really sweet. A month out from filming, and their lead actor drops out because of, I don't know why, but some, I think, personal reasons. And, they asked me to recast or to cast for the lead. And I cast for it for about, I think, like a week, and got the call back that I got the part. So, it's amazing.
That is super cool. So again, May 16th, it's a 24-hour only window that you can watch this. 3 start times globally. That's 7 p.m. or 1900 local time in Melbourne, in London, where you are, Alex, and in Toronto. And then following those 3 start times, following the conclusion of the film, there will be a live question and answer session with key participants. For more information and the order, go online to FITE.tv. And of course, you can download the FITE app. And FITE is, as you know by now, spelled F-I-T-E for FITE. This is going to be really cool. This is a big deal for FITE. I know this is a big deal in your life as well. At this stage, are you focused more on fighting, or are you focused more on acting? Or I guess you can probably do both, right?
Yeah, right now, I guess acting, because, my kids don't really, they think it's cool, but when I come home with, I don't know, a bloody nose or black eyes, they don't enjoy that. And my wife as well, she doesn't enjoy that. But I think I can just about do both. I signed a new contract with Contenders Florida, a 2-fight contract. That was supposed to happen next Saturday in Florida, in, I think it was Fort Myers. So, I'm missing out on that event right now because of what's happening in the world. So, I guess 2 fights a year is perfect because it means I can space them out apart. I can act in between and hopefully get bigger roles as well. So, yeah.
So you were saying that you knew the film's writer and director, Jesse Quinones. I know he's a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah.
So when he decided that you were going to go from a bit player and the fight coordinator to being the main star of his film, did he make you read, or did he just say, "Nah, Alex, that's my guy. He's going to do this"?
No, he told me, he said, "You're my guy, but I need you to read because you got to show the producers, Shane and Sarah, that you're the guy." And of course, I understand that it's a big movie. That's putting a lot of money towards it, and they want to know, like you said, that I'm the real deal. So I had to read for it. It was the main thing, the nerve-wracking thing was waiting to hear, because obviously I knew I was going to be in it anyway, because I had my small bit and the fight choreographer, but I was like, if I get this, man, it's life-changing. So but it was good, and I'm glad I actually got to read for it because it made me get more involved in this character.
So let's talk about your character and the whole premise of the film. It's called Cagefighter Worlds Collide, and the 2 worlds are professional mixed martial arts and professional wrestling. Your character comes out of MMA. So There's a lot of reality-based things in here. I mean, you think about Brock Lesnar, you think about all of the guys coming from Japan in the start of Japanese MMA, which came right out of Puroresu, out of Japanese Pro MMA. You think that Dan Severn made his debut at UFC 4, and he had already been a professional wrestler. Ken Shamrock at UFC 1 had been a professional wrestler. So there's a lot of precedent for something like this.
Yeah, I think it's a great film, and merging these worlds together, like you said, it's happening so much now. It's been happening from the very start, but even now in modern day, even more. Like you were saying, Brock Lesnar, even people like CM Punk, I know didn't do so well, but he still crossed over. Tyson Fury going into WWE. There's loads of people doing it, and I think it's great. I think wrestling and MMA have a lot in common, and I think more wrestling fans are going to go to MMA, and a lot of MMA fans are going to go to wrestling, and I think it's a great thing.
You and me, Alex, are both, of course, MMA guys, and I know we've both had the reaction. I think all MMA fans have this. When you see a film, any type of fight film or any action film with a fight, and it doesn't look right, you think, man, they don't know what they're doing. That person does not know how to throw a jab, or, oh, that's the worst overhand, right? Or, I think of it, Rorion Gracie, I don't know if you know this, was the fight coordinator on the original Lethal Weapon. But go back and watch the end of that movie. Mel Gibson put Scary Busey in the world's worst triangle. It's like white belt day one on that. It just kind of takes you out of the movie. So I know you guys wanted to be pristine in the fight scenes in this.
No, that's it. We did. We spent a lot of time preparing these fight scenes. And I'm sure that you guys are going to appreciate it. That I did have a little niggle on set, so I'm a bit worried now you said that, man. Some of the now the moves look perfect for you. But no, I had a little niggle on set, so we had to change a few of the end fights. But I'm sure they still look amazing because we had Jesse overseeing and Daniel Beavis, a stunt guy as well, watching. But I feel like you'll be happy with it. Well, I hope so. I'm nervous now.
Do not be nervous. I know that you can put on a better triangle than Mel Gibson. I promise you. I know that for sure. I met a man once named Robert Lathan Brown, long career in Hollywood. And we were talking. He actually came to a Bellator, and I was talking to him afterwards when I worked at Bellator. He had worked on Michael Mann's film Ali with Will Smith. And if you go back and you watch Ali, so many of the smaller parts are played by professional fighters. James Toney plays Joe Frazier. Michael Bent, I believe, plays George Foreman. And Robert Lathan Brown said to me, it's a lot easier to teach a fighter how to act than an actor how to fight. Do you agree with that?
I definitely agree with that. Yeah. Fighting is, you can't just pick it up in a month or two. It has to be years and years or ingrained in you. I've been training since I was born. My dad has 3 black belts in 3 different traditions.
Wow.
A BJJ black belt, judo black belt, aikido black belt. So it's destined for me to be a martial artist. And so I totally agree with you. If you're an actor, to learn how to fight, it's going to be tough.
So when you're doing the fight scenes, is it difficult to hold back? Is it almost like light sparring, or like if you were working with a white belt? Is it that type of mentality?
Yeah, no, for sure it is. There was a couple of times a few shots got slipped through. there is a crowd there, the background is there. So it is, and you're in an actual cage, it's the heat is on, man. but yeah, you hold back, and obviously afterwards if you do hit each other, you say sorry and stuff, the cameraman right over your shoulder or right over their shoulder kind of is like, oh yeah, we are just acting. So yeah.
I heard his story, and I don't know I don't know if it's true, and 2, I don't know which Rocky film it is, but that Stallone said to, I don't know if it was Dolph Lundgren or if it was Mr. T or Carl Weathers, but somewhere along the line, he said, maybe it was Antonio Tarver, I don't know. He said, hit me as hard as you can, I'll be fine. And they hit him as hard as he could, and he was like, yeah, that probably wasn't my best idea.
I reckon that's true.
Yes.
I reckon that's true. In the heat of the moment, for sure. Let's get that shot.
Alex, in the fight scenes in the movie, how choreographed are they? Is there a bit of a free flow, or is literally everything rehearsed? Like I'm going to throw 1, 1, 2, and then I'm going to shoot a single and then move to side mount, or is it a little more free flow?
No, yeah, we was going to do a bit more free flow. And I guess we kind of added a bit of that in, but then once that was added in, it became that's part of the sequence. And for the cameramen and camera guys and everyone, we had to have a sequence. So yeah, it was like you throw a 1-2 uppercut, takedown, just so they can know where we're gonna be, make sure everyone's safe, and stuff like that. So yeah, like I said, you could have a bit of play or a bit of showboating before, but yeah, it was pretty set in stone.
So, when you resume your pro MMA career and you're still actively training, you haven't fought since May of 2019. Obviously, you've had other things to do, like star in this new motion picture. When you resume, a lot of guys are going to say, that's that actor guy. You have a big target on your back now.
I know, man. I was already thinking that. And my next fight is for the light heavyweight title, contenders title.
Man.
I know. So I know as soon as I get that title, there's going to be a lot of people calling me out.
Don't tell people you're a fighter. Say, this is my first fight. I'm just an actor, and I just wanted to try this. Hopefully they don't look at Tapology and figure it out.
Yeah, I'll say that.
Alex, so talk to me about what's next for you in your acting career. And we've talked about your fight career, but then beyond fighting in Florida, what are you looking at as a pro MMA fighter?
Now next for my acting, I want to do something big. This is huge, and I want to go even bigger. I can definitely see myself filling a void in the action world. A lot of the top actors, they're getting a bit older. No disrespect to them. But,
but it's true. It is.
Yeah,
it's true.
Yeah. So now I'm young. I'm fresh. I'm an actual fighter. So it means I can come in and do things they can't do. And yeah, I want to show the whole world. With this fight. With this film, and then go on to Marvel, DC, anything. Just let me get in one of those films, and I'll show them how good I am. And for fighting, yeah, I want to, obviously for now I'm signed to Contenders, and I love that show. I want to fight on there a few times, and then who knows if Bellator or UFC or one of them guys want to sign me, then yeah, we'll take it from there.
Alex, the last thing I want to talk to you about are people in your cast. And Chuck Liddell, I've already interviewed him for Fight, and Chuck's someone obviously I've looked up to for a long time, as I'm sure you have as well, as a hardcore MMA fan like myself. Also Luke Rockhold, who's a spectacular guy. Talk about working with those guys and just the energy they brought to the set and to all of these scenes.
It was great, man. Especially when I heard Chuck was involved. I was like, whoa, I felt like a kid again. I've been watching him for years and years and years. And I remember his fights, like, some of the first fights I saw, so it was amazing. So yeah, working with him and his energy was great. He brought, I don't know, he made me bring something extra, because I was like, man, this guy's a legend. So I have to show him how good I am, Even with the like the training scenes and stuff, hitting pads, I was like, I want him to see how serious I am.
Yeah.
So I gave it my all, and the training scenes and all of that. It was really fun. And his acting actually is amazing. He's gonna astound a lot of people, because I feel like he gave his all for this role. And working with Luke as well was great. Former UFC champion as well. I remember watching him in Strikeforce days, thinking, right, this guy's top. And then coming to the UFC and still holding his own. And it was great. I got to spar with him as well, so that was really fun. Yeah, that was really fun. So yeah, it was really great being around them type of guys. It was really fun.
This is Alex Montagnani. You're going to be hearing his name a lot in both show business and in the fight business in MMA. Alex, joining us from his home in London. Great stuff, man. I'm really happy for your success.
Thanks, man. Thanks. And sorry about my kids making noise in the background, if you can hear them.
Oh, man, I was waiting for my 9-year-old to be running in at any time saying, Daddy, I'm up. It's a little earlier here for me, but kid noises don't bother me.
Good, man. I'm glad.
Alex's new film is Cagefighter Worlds Collide. It will debut on FITE May 16th as a one-night-only streaming purchase, available globally, except for the U.S. and the Caribbean. But, of course, it is available in Alex's home nation of the United Kingdom. There will be 3 start times, 7 p.m. local time. Now, that's 1900, of course. This is 3 times: Melbourne, London, and Toronto. And then there will be a live question and answer session with key participants. Alex most definitely will be one of those key participants. That will be immediately following the conclusion of the film. For more information and to order, go online to FITE.tv, and you can download the FITE app. Remember, that's FITE spelled F-I-T-E. Alex, again, great stuff, man. Thanks so much for being on the program.
Thank you, man. Hopefully speak to you again, man.
And thanks to all of you watching worldwide, I'm Sean Wheelock. This has been an exclusive presentation of FITE.
Live from London, England! Are you ready for a new legend?